But we're also going to place strong protections to stop banks and regulators from trying to debank you from your political beliefs, what they do. They want to debank you, and we're going to debank. Think of this.
I got a 3-point plan to fix everything.
I think cognitively I'm better than I was 20 years ago. I don't know why.
He's got a higher IQ than any man alive.
This guy is like unbelievable, the job he's doing. We have to stop him. He's a genius. That was a word. Then they said, this is one of the dumbest human beings ever.
He's going to fix everything.
I used to drive a Rolls Royce, and now I drive in an Army tank. But the Army tank costs more money than the Rolls Royce. So.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Look, I got to take it because I got to shut it up. And I took it, and I aced it.
And we're stuck with the dumbest people in history.
If you have one bucket that holds 2 gallons and another bucket that holds 5 gallons, how many buckets do you have?
I gotta stop starting the shows like that because I keep laughing the whole time. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Jeremy Baker. With me, as always, is Mike Falino. It is Saturday morning, 10 a.m. It is freezing cold in Pennsylvania. Yep. I'm pretty sure it is in New York too. Mike, how are you?
Yep. Good. Trying to stay inside, not outside, because the weather here has been crazy lately. It'll be freezing, then it'll be warm. So there's a steady headache that just goes with the hot and cold. But it's been pretty cold for a couple of days now.
So we have a great show lined up for you. Man, do we ever have a good show. First of all, I want to announce that this Tuesday we will be having Fred Wellman, formerly of the Lincoln Project, currently of the Meidas Touch Network, and he has his podcast on YouTube as well, on democracy. He will be on with us on Tuesday live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're really excited about that. We will be talking about the political violence, past, present, and future in this country. So next, moving on, we got a great show lined up for you. We're going to be talking about Roger Stone, apparently on audio again, talking about assassinating congresspeople.
That's a thing.
Yeah, apparently, I don't think MAGA understands how audio and video works, and that everybody has it. It's not like it's secret recordings taped to your chest anymore.
They think that's what it is. Recording device. They think it's an 80s movie.
I swear. We also have Eric Swalwell's reaction. Then we're going to talk shit about Trump for a little bit because
it's easy.
I know it's a little hanging fruit.
He deserves it. It's getting worse, and he deserves it.
But without Donald Trump, we wouldn't have that much of a show. Actually, it'd be a really short show. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about with him in New Hampshire and in Iowa. A lot.
It's relevant. He's losing his mind. He's losing his mind in front of us.
He truly is, and I can't.
And his rhetoric is going through the roof.
And the rumors online about his hands. And I'm gonna get into that one on the show.
It's a paper cut, right? It's a paper cut from the secret.
Yeah, it's a golf rash. That's the other story. It's a golf rash.
Wait, what? A golf rash?
That's the story.
That's not a thing.
They read that shit on Twitter, and my response is my best friend is a par golfer. He plays golf all the time. I've known him for 23 years. I have never once heard him say, "Damn, this golf rash on my head." You know what I'm saying? It's so stupid. And Alex Jones is all upset about it. So he made a video explaining why it's not what they're saying could be secondary syphilis. I'm not going to say it is. It could be. So don't get that upset. Okay. And then we're going to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene's very odd obsession.
She has a
with
rash.
Hunter Biden's genitals. She loves Hunter Biden's crotch and I swear she carries wallet-sized photo of his dick. just on hand at any time. This is Hunter Biden's penis. Look at it.
That's her badge to get into her hotel room.
Yes. All right. So let's get into some of this topic matter. But before that, most of us have noticed that Melania has been missing since before Christmas, and her and Donald have not been seen together. Donald and Elena Haba have been seen an awful lot together. Just going to point that out and float that out there. So they were seen together at the funeral for Melania's mom, and we do have the footage of them lovingly leaving together. So here you go. No. My bad. I must have got my information wrong. That did not look like
wrong
they were
car.
leaving.
Right, you're right. You're right. It's more the one of the things they're saying now is it's safer. The Secret Service prefers them to travel separately.
You're okay.
Yeah. All right,
Okay.
because Melania is the one that is the target or would be target or whatever the hell the nonsense is.
Yeah,
She was like,
whatever.
"You stink. Get the fuck out."
I know, right? It's like he was like, "Can I ride with you?" She's like, "Get the fuck
I
out."
don't want to catch a golf rash. I don't want golf
Right? I
rash.
saw
I don't
that
want.
picture, Donald. I saw the picture. I'm not gonna touch you.
Oh my
All
god.
right, so let's get into the actual topic matter. First, Roger Stone, the audio of him talking about assassinating Congressman Swalwell and I can't remember, Nadler, I think is the last name.
Yeah.
This is from the Young Turks video, them breaking it down real quick.
There and go find Swalwell and get this over with. It's time to do it. Then we'll see how brave the rest of them are. Either Swalwell or Nadler has to die before the election. They need to get the message. And just not putting up with this.
So we had learned earlier this week that Mediaite had gotten these tapes of Roger Stone plotting the assassination of multiple Democrats before the 2020 election. He had responded to that news saying, "Oh yeah, where's the tapes? You don't got any tapes. I don't hear any tapes." Well, the tapes are out. And so what does he say to that? He's claiming that it's AI generated and that's fake. Obviously, every time he's on audio or videotape calling for the murder of his political opponents, and I'm starting to forget some of those instances now, he has claimed that it's AI in every case.
If you the important part of the Stone message that he was trying to get across to whoever he was talking about, as bad as it is that he was specifically naming politicians to murder, okay,
Right.
and it's time that they murder, which means part of their multi-phase plan is eventually we're going to have to take some lives, right? The thing that's important and the thing that I want every American that is going to vote, has a vote, maybe even thinks they shouldn't vote, he specifically says in there that it is time to see how brave the rest of them are. It's a message of fear. It is an act of murder to cause terror. It is domestic terrorism by someone that Donald Trump pardoned, okay, who is a known criminal who was trying to participate in taking down this government.
Yeah.
And he's just walking around free because Donald Trump and him are like golf buddies. They both have golf rashes.
Right. And
this
most
isn't okay. This is not okay. It is
This is not normal. This is not normal.
Well,
this
it's
is
becoming
not
the normal.
Right. And I mean, in places like Russia is where they murder political opponents or people accidentally
With
fall out of windows.
It's known. It's not even like someone asked Putin, "Did you kill someone?" And he's like,
I know, right? But the thing that I think, and people are like, "Oh, this should, he's just talking or whatever." I'm like, that's not the point. You know what I mean? This is not just talking. You got to remember who Roger Stone surrounded himself with. He had like his own personal militia with him at all times. At all times.
Let's take a look at who Roger Stone is. Not from a, what is his career and all that. What is he as a person? All right. Well, he's a piece of garbage because authorities are starting to take his phone calls seriously. The inquiry by the Capitol Police and the FBI came after a website released a recording that has said captured Roger Stone Jr. in 2020 expressing a desire for the deaths of 2 Trump critics. We heard the tape. This is who Roger Stone is. He is a man who openly, proudly, repeatedly, and can't stop talking about his obsession and love and admiration for freaking Richard Milhouse Nixon. Okay. The known shittiest, traitorous, garbagey, criminaliest president we had before Donald Trump. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not talking about someone. Look, he's got these posters. Like, this guy worships him. You think he's a decent president? You don't have a picture of him when he's like 25 years old there. And you certainly don't get a back piece. I want to know what kind of tramp stamp guy has. And to what Jeremy said,
it probably says Trump lives here.
Oh, well, no, the Trump is on the front. The Trump is on the front. It's where you rest the broom handle. So what you need to know is what Jeremy was talking about who this man surrounds himself with.
Exactly.
it's not like it's an incidental thing, an oopsie picture. These are cozy pictures of Roger Stone with not only known domestic terrorists. Enrique Tarrio is a Proud Boys leader who is in prison right now. Okay? And there's a tweet from Alex Jones, or it could be a truth, who could say, about him hanging out with the Proud Boys, all giving the white power symbol.
Power signal, exactly. And a man,
this is a man who is
a
political. See, you got to understand, a racist, shitty domestic terrorist militia organization can't do anything on their own. They could train their people with shields like they're actually going to do anything against Abrams tanks. But the real danger is,
like, okay.
The danger is the politicians that not only will aid them in this, but are part of them, are the part of the brotherhood, part of the Aryan bullshit, the Christian nationalism. Roger Stone is a high-powered, super fucking lawyer linked with the former president of the United States, giving the white power symbol at a dokey pokey bar in the middle of nowhere with known racist white supremacist militia groups.
Remember,
and he's on recording talking about assassinating people. He had the intent, the means, the finances, the personnel. It could have, all it had to do was be a thumbs up from the vote or whoever makes that decision, right?
Yeah.
And we could have had political violence we've never seen in this country, except for the assassination of presidents.
He's also on video. Of course, people have already seen this one, talking about the president should have enacted the Insurrection Act to show his strength against the people, to show them what's going to happen to them. You know, if they go against Trump, we're going to turn the military on you or whatever. I mean, that's what they want to do. That's literally what they want to do. They're talking about tanks in the streets. We have a video later of Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about they're looking forward to doing mass deportations. I mean, these people are sick and head.
This is what they're talking about in an era when we've had.
They're not talking about the American people.
Presidents have been assassinated in this country because of lone wolves acting out, maybe, as part of larger plans, but of organizations, but they weren't as supported and openly supported by known insurrectionist, traitorous presidents as they are now. They weren't as brazen. They weren't on tape talking about scheming. We have had presidents murdered, and it could happen to anyone again if we continue to let these white supremacists go unchecked.
Well, we always talking about stochastic terrorism. That's what it is. The people up top instigate and throw out code words, and they gaslight. And all it takes is a fraction of a percent of their followers to react to that, and people get killed. I hope people understand that. And that's what's going to happen. There will be more violence in the future. We're going to talk about more on Tuesday. People are going to get killed because of people like Roger Stone and the sycophants of Donald Trump. So anyway, let me play. We have Eric Swalwell's reaction on CNN, or at least part of it, with Anderson Cooper. So let me play that real quick.
Congressman, so according to sources, I understand you weren't aware of this recording until it was published. Is that right? And I'm wondering what your reaction was.
That's right, Anderson. And frankly, I was stunned that he was so brazen about it. And maybe I shouldn't be stunned, because the truth is, when it comes to Donald Trump and his henchmen like Roger Stone, they prefer violence over voting. They're bankrupt of any ideas that would help anyone who watches your show. And so they want to, as he said, get right to the violence. And so, yes, I was stunned. I'm still stunned. We can't normalize this at all. And all I ask of my colleagues who I serve with is, let's join together and let's allow our unity to be the antidote to these types of threats, and that we condemn them whether they're against Republicans or Democrats.
Swalwell sits on the Homeland Security Council. Again, domestic terrorists in this country are picking very deliberate targets. The message that would send is that the next person we can kill is anyone we want. Anyone.
Right. And then you got Donald Trump, his lawyer in court, saying that even the president can get away with murder and not get prosecuted. And all this
and then you have
by the Congress and the Senate.
then you have Trump himself putting out a little tweety truth.
Oh yeah, he has
saying
to have
that
immunity.
even if the president goes over the line, he has immunity. He is telling you on his own political bullshit grifting platform that he believes as president, he had the power to murder anyone he wanted and get away with it. And his lawyer in court, like Jeremy was saying, argued that unless the president is impeached for the crime, he can't be held accountable for it. So somehow someone's supposed to know before that Trump wanted to kill someone that they'd have to impeach him for that crime so he could be held. No, this is fascism. Right. This is a dictator who is no longer pretending to be a politician. He is pushing for his reign on this country.
Right. And then here's the thing, though. You only need like so many votes. Like, say they're like Jamie Raskin pointed this out. You only like 3 or votes. There's 3 or 4 votes that could go the wrong way and could get you convicted.
Yep.
What's going to keep him from taking out those 3 or 4 people?
Yeah.
That there's nobody to convict them. Like,
then you can't. They didn't
make sense.
Yeah, they didn't convict him of killing those people that he needed to be. Come on.
I know there's no such thing as kings in America, and there's damn sure no such thing as he's not a god, and he was not sent by God.
Someone like Roger Stone is working to put someone who would be a king in power.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you heard it. That's not.
Speaking of Donald Trump thinking he was a god, in a previous episode, we played the Lincoln Project ad, or not the Lincoln Project ad. It was actually Donald Trump's ad.
Yeah.
Where it was, God made Trump is what it was called.
God made
so he
Trump.
Completely set himself up for this. And of course, Lincoln Project being the fantastic. They were so good at sarcasm. I love it.
This is the most powerful video, in my opinion, they've ever made, and they make the most poignant videos.
They do. So they made a video, God Made a Dictator. So let's check this out real quick by the Lincoln Project.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a man to test the will and goodness of a free people. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man who failed in everything but theft and broken promises to live in a golden palace and convince the poor he serves their needs. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a wicked man to lead the common folk with hatred and fear. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a corrupt man who is above the law and immune from justice. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man who will use violence to seize power. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man whose followers will call black white, call evil good, and call criminals hostages. So God made a dictator. God said, I need his political party to obey without question, and the press fear his wrath. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a cruel man who uses his power and position to punish and harm his opposition. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man who breaks the faith of even his most godly followers and leads them to idolatry. Place him above me. So God made a dictator. And then God said, I sent this man to test you, and until you cast him down, you have failed. So God made a dictator.
That's a fantastic video. Yeah, and they've got it on a digital billboard. I can't remember where they have it. It's at one of Trump's events or somewhere where he's at. I believe in New Hampshire now or in Iowa, one of the 2 places.
I don't know.
Playing this on a loop. It's so good, so good. I love the work they do.
I've been following politics my whole adult life, and
this is
all the bullshit. Like, God, I remember the Tea Party and being like, these people are just nuts. But I wasn't afraid of them in the way that if you watch that video from the Lincoln Project and you think anything other than it's too late, you have not been paying attention, because we have to defeat him in the polls, and we have to stand strong against the political violence, the social terrorism that he supports.
We're talking about...
They took abortion. He claims that he did it, right? He's stealing documents. He's telling people secrets. He's disclosing where our nuclear subs are. Okay, this is not just me making stuff up. This is stuff that it's coming out. He's doing. He's on trial. 91 felonies. He's a convicted.
Taking money from.
He is a found to be liable for being a rapist. Okay, he's about to lose his businesses. None of this is a witch hunt. This is all real, and yet he still has a cult following.
Epstein's Island.
Epstein's Island. And the thing that's scary is his cult following could not be the vehicle to put him in power. He tried that. It didn't work. So now it's all the politicians that are doubling down. They've had years to break away from him, and they have not done it, and they're doubling down on him, and they are supporting him, and they are bending the knee to a God King dictator, and they are happy.
These people don't have the understanding. They don't have the ability to comprehend, because there's a video that went viral on Twitter and on the other, I believe on Instagram as well. Some idiot Trump supporter talking about, America needs a dictator. These people don't understand. Like, I wish you would watch some of the videos that we play that show what a dictatorship is like. There's plenty of, if you don't like it to read, or if you can't read, fucking YouTube it and watch the goddamn documentaries and videos on it. I mean, how could you possibly want that in the United States?
Because we're talking about people who, even in the worst situations in this country, and I'm speaking from a point of extreme white male privilege, but I'm recognizing the extreme injustices in this country for so many people. And even those people that have it the worst don't have as bad as it is in a country with a dictator that can literally round up families, shoot you in the back of the head, and leave your corpses in your house.
There's no more due process. There's no freedom of anything.
There are extreme injustices, deep-seated systemic injustices in America that make people's lives miserable. It's still better than living in a dictatorship.
It is, but
you don't want to live in a dictatorship. You don't.
We are already slipping into it on a state level. There's a couple states that, I mean, goddamn, if you don't want to call their governors, if you don't want to call their governors dictators, it's about what they're doing. So, anyway, moving on. I'm tired of talking about serious stuff, so we're gonna go to some stupid stuff. Which
all right,
please, of course, AKA
it's
Donald
early
Trump.
and it's Saturday morning. Let's have some fun.
Okay, so first, I'm gonna pull up this article from the Meidas Touch Network. And I'm going to have a hell of a time getting through this without laughing.
You can do it. You can do this.
No, I can't. All right. So the headline is Donald Trump declares. I see. I already did it. I did. I was 3 words in. God damn it. All right. Donald Trump declares that corn is not a liquid. Okay. So I'm just going to read on the right. And you know, this is Trump. Word for word. And you know, we have more liquid gold and wealth under our feet than any other nation. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas. More liquid gold.
Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I'll finish it if you want, but you can do it.
I got it. All right, I got it. Wow, I just met. You gotta do it.
All right. Well, I just met non-liquid gold. You know where it was. Iowa. It's called corn. It's not liquid. You have more non-liquid gold. They said, what is that? I said, corn. They said, we love that idea. You know, it's a pretty cool thought, isn't it? That's a nickname in its own way. But we came up with a new word, a new couple of words for corn.
You couldn't even do it. What is that? It's corn.
If Joe Biden gave a speech like that, I would be calling for no one to vote and say we've lost. We have no shot. I'd be like, what's the point?
I told you I couldn't do it.
You have that on video.
When I made that overlay, I'm like, I had to put a disclaimer on it. There's no way I'm getting through this. Okay, movie. Woo. All right. So Trump's he was celebrated his Iowa caucus win. I believe I have a video of that. Do I have that video? Oh, yes, I do. Here's a little bit of him celebrating. Is this New Hampshire or is this Iowa? Let's pretend it's Iowa for a second.
Look at those two old ladies fawning over the rapist right there.
I know, right? And look at the people behind him. They're hugging. Tell me it's not a cult, man. Come on.
Grab me by
Now she's going to have to cut her arm off.
Yes, very novel. Get that
Okay.
as a tattoo.
Now, let me ask everybody out there in America.
Come on.
What would you have said? Nobody said shit about this. I like find this random. It's going viral now on Twitter.
Because he's such a piece of shit.
Or on X or whatever you want to call it. I'm sorry, I keep calling it Twitter.
It's Twitter.
What would you do if you saw Joe Biden doing that, man? Come on, are you serious? They'd be like, impeach him right now. He signed the woman's chest. Like, they would be freaking out.
Like,
Nobody seems to care when a guy who's been held liable for rape, who was on Jeffrey Epstein's island with underage girls. I mean, duh. And he's touching a woman's chest, pulling on her shirt, signing her chest. Come on, people.
What I find super funny is
have some self-respect, Republicans.
Do you remember when George Bush was running for president?
Yeah.
And he had that one video shoot where he's in jeans and a red flannel shirt standing on a truck. And like, they were like, we're going to try and make this guy, Joe Everyman. And of course, every politician in some way tries to relate to someone. I get it. It's all publicity stunts. Democrats do it. Republicans do it. But I don't know that there's ever been a human being, and I use the term loosely, in any part of the world in history that could sign a breast of a screaming fan while two older women hug each other to help each other deal with the emotion of watching that beautiful known rapist sign a breast and survive that as a political candidate, let alone be the Republican nominee for president, which we know he is. Okay. Yeah. Come on. These people are in a cult and there is nothing we can do to help them. Nothing. We have to let them just die out and phase out.
When Obama, that's why we say you can't reason with them, so we're just going to make fun of him. But when Obama wore a tan suit, Fox News,
oh my God,
presidential.
Oh,
and now we got Donald Trump touching a woman's chest and signing.
Wait a minute. They hated the fact that he wore one tan suit, but Donald Trump has worn the same suit for 8 years and no one mentions it.
I know, right? That's a good point.
That's why he stinks.
Yeah, no shit. It's the same exact. They just he keeps forgetting. All right. This video, I'm not sure what to make of this, but let's play this. This is one of his other brilliant ideas.
And tonight, I'm also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny. As your president, I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. Do you know about that?
Nobody's trying to do that, are they?
No one's ever mentioned that. The amount of people that would vote for Donald Trump that can't comprehend our money is worthless anyway. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by anything. It's a made up digital thing anyway that we just issue paper to. The transactions are all digital.
Right.
Mean anything.
So, all right. So don't worry. He's not going to allow the creation of a central digital bank, which nobody's fucking talking. I mean, excuse me, nobody's freaking talking about anyway. That's dumb. Here he goes and makes some promises to the audience that his tax cuts are going to be permanent. Now, I promise you the tax cuts that he did not benefit about 99% of the people in this audience. And I'm not sure why they're cheering about it.
So while Joe Biden is pushing the largest tax hike in American history, which he is, I will make the Trump tax cuts the largest ever, larger than Reagan's. I'm going to make them permanent. We have to make them permanent. If the Democrats get in, they're going to let that float. You know, it comes due in a year or less, and they're going to let it float. Your taxes will go up approximately 4 times. Would you mind paying 4 times more than you're paying right now? You would not be happy, right?
But that's not a thing. That's not happening. And has anybody ever noticed their taxes go up 4 times? I mean, come on. He's just trying to produce fear out of his. That's all he has left. It's the only trick in the bag he has left is to make his people so afraid they're going to vote for him. Yeah. But he keeps making up the dumbest shit to make.
But no one's calling him out. No one fact checks him. No one goes.
No, we have Fox News and other networks, Ride Side Broadcasting, OAN, all those networks that are just like
Lindell Network
constantly. Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't forget Mike Lindell TV.
Talk TV.
Yeah. Is that a thing still?
I don't know.
Or is that lost all its money too? Oh yeah, wasn't Mike Lindell just bitching that Fox News wouldn't run any of his ads? He's
Because
like,
he
they
owes
canceled
them
me.
like
They're like, no,
$60 million.
dipshit, you haven't paid us, and
Yeah.
you owe us millions of dollars. What are you talking about?
He's like, they keep saying that I owe them money. I'm going to call the president and find out what this is about. You owe the money. Pay your bill.
Yeah, and they even said Fox News is like, we told them that if you pay your bill, we'll run your ads. Like, we're not. They canceled me. Oh God. Okay, here's another ridiculous claim by Donald Trump, talking about religious tests.
Doesn't stop.
I will implement strong ideological screening of all immigrants. If you hate America, if you want to abolish Israel, if you
Ideological.
don't like our religion, which a lot of them don't, if you sympathize with jihadists,
Looking awfully
then
tan
we
today.
don't want you in our country, and you are not getting in, right?
He's going.
It's a different shade every day.
He's going blackface more and more often, and no one's talking about it.
I wish I would. I keep forgetting to pull up that picture of Laura Loomer when she
Oh,
hugged
yeah.
him after the Iowa caucus. All she did was hug him, and it was
you know what?
all over her face.
I don't
And it
even
was so
want
obvious.
I don't even have the effort to mention the horror and terror in those words about promising to have religious and ideological tests. So I'm
Right,
going to gloss
one.
over that and just talk about the fact that I think someone should find out what chemicals are in his bronzer, because his decline is going up proportionately to the darker his makeup gets.
It really is.
Something's
Like
going
on. You know, it's funny. I don't know if most people know this, but you know how he talks about Al Capone a lot. Not only did Al Capone have syphilis, Al Capone was also notorious for being on stimulants like cocaine. And Al Capone also wore makeup that did not match his skin tone to cover up a scar on his face. I don't know if people know all that. But
Well, I didn't know the
similarities, I think,
third
are
one.
funny.
I didn't know the third one.
Yeah, he wore like this really white pasty makeup on one side of his face to cover up the scar, but it looked awful. But the syphilis, it affected his brain with the cocaine that made
Yeah.
it worse. And it just completely scrambled his brain, so he just looked ridiculous.
Well, that explains Trump to a T, because he worships.
Doesn't it though? Like the
worships
similarities are
Al
crazy.
Capone.
He's like Hitler mixed with Al Capone.
Oh, you know what's funny about that? Hitler was on meth,
And Hitler had syphilis.
and that seems to be a common theme.
Right? What is with dictators and people like this?
For junk.
Let's go test the rest of them. Kim Jong-un and all those people.
Dude,
maybe it's like maybe they've all been to Jeffrey Epstein's island and that's where they got it.
Oh my God, it's Epstein syphilis.
That's right. We could buy a new strain. This real powerful strain.
Got to watch out for that Epstein.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll stop.
Yo, where did we end
Be
up
serious.
today? Let's keep
But
going.
one, I wanted to point out that he wants to, if you don't believe in our religion, we don't have an official religion, dipshit. America is not a Christian nation. It wasn't founded by Christians. Not all of them. Okay.
Theists and atheists were 90% of the founders.
I know, right? Right. Exactly. And I always say, like, if religion had to be agreed upon, we never would have come to become a country in the first place. Right. So we're not a religious nation, or we're not Christianity is not our official religion. And if English is not our official language. Neither of those things, because we're a country that was founded by immigrants, built by immigrants, for immigrants. So anyway, what else do we have on the book? I do have Lincoln Project's fact check from Trump's Iowa speech. So that's probably a good place to go next. Let's do that.
We just have to fact check a lot, and brace yourself, because this is going to take a moment.
I did nothing wrong. Well, see, my legal issues, every one of them, everyone, civil and the criminal ones, are all set up by Joe Biden.
This is a civil fraud trial in New York. Joe Biden did not set this up.
Well, I don't get very fair trials in New York. Letitia James, the corrupt attorney general of New York, she's a political hack.
There is someone else who went after her for an investigation she did, and that was Andrew Cuomo, the former Democratic governor of New York.
They don't have any facts. They don't have any evidence against us.
Yes, there is. That has actually already been determined here, that he actually inflated the value of his assets by a factor of 3.
We won this case already in the Court of Appeals.
Court of Appeals scaled back the initial case that was made by Letitia James, very far from saying that the appeals court sided with him.
She went after Exxon, and they decided to move to Texas. Think of it, not one witness. It's really it's a witch hunt in the truest sense of the word, Burisma. Joe Biden and his thugs that surround him did it. I have no idea who this woman is. Trump is so innocent.
Dude, the talking
I
in
love
the
that
third
one.
person is freaking weird, man.
I know. I hate when people do that. But yeah, just for reference, Exxon left New York in 1989.
Letitia
So
James
unless
is like
she's
14.
unless she's been an attorney for a very long time, since she was like a baby, I don't think that was her. Just for reference, just so everybody knows. I mean,
Oh my
the stuff he
God.
says, complete and utter meltdown.
I am afraid to think of the degree of ignorance that it has to be to listen to him and think that every word out of his mouth is like 100% fact, and not even be able to see that he's a complete blithering idiot. Man, that scares me. Like, to be confused at how to open a tin can. That's the level of stupid we have here.
I think the stress is gonna kill him eventually. Not kill him, but put him out of commission for the most part. I mean, you can see it.
Yeah, but they'll weaken
the last
the
6
premium.
months. The last 6 months. Just go back and watch videos over the last 6 months, and you can see.
Like,
man, he has gone downhill.
and it
so
hasn't
far.
even
Now he's
got bad.
confusing. Right now, he's confusing. Who was it?
He was
Haley
with
Nancy
Pelosi on January
Pelosi
6th.
talking about Nikki Haley's responsible for January 6th. I think I have that video or
He's
the video for that for
losing
tomorrow.
his mind.
He really is, but nobody wants to say anything. So I think they just got him propped up like Weekend at Bernie's on stimulants, and when he's not on camera.
I love that movie, by the way.
Yeah, good classic.
I love that movie. Anyway,
so yeah, so they're celebrating. I still don't understand why they're celebrating their Iowa caucus win. I mean,
because their voters don't know the
out of
reality.
2 million registered voters in Iowa voted to or caucus for him.
Yep,
that's it. 50,000 for him out of 2 million registered voters, and another 50,000 against. And they endured sub-zero temperatures and
to vote against him,
to not support Donald Trump. I think that's the bigger picture.
What he ended up getting mathematically is 14% of the Iowa vote of potential voters, where last time he got like 97%.
So his popularity is fleeting. His power is as well. We also have to realize that by the end of this month, he's going to be found liable again for defamation. And this idiot,
if he doesn't get thrown out of court, by the
defamed
way,
this woman so many times on
he's still doing it.
Social. He did it yesterday, I think 28
while the
times
trial is
in
going.
a row, all in a row, nonstop. I mean, what 77-year-old man does that?
He's
and
doing
his
it like 3
lawyer,
in the morning, too.
who we're going to talk about tomorrow, Alina Habba, or as I like to call her, Trump's new boo. They're so cute. They make a cute couple. Is possibly one of the worst lawyers ever, and she's been paid $2.4 million so far, I think, from donation money out of Trump's funds.
She doesn't even know how to ask questions properly in court. The judge is yelling at her because she doesn't even know how to do the most basic functions of law.
Didn't know that and I didn't know this because I'm not an attorney, but I've listened to so many podcasts about this making fun of her. She didn't know that when you make an objection, you stand up.
Yeah.
Like, that's just basic lawyer stuff. That's like probably first year legal stuff.
She referred to the judge as sir.
Yeah, you call him your honor, and that's it. Like, she is pissed off the judge. And she argued she wanted to dismiss the trial, and the judge was like, no, denied.
Yeah,
and then she started arguing again, and the judge is like, what do you not understand about denied? Oh. That's the end of the argument, not the beginning of it. Then I just found out this was it today or yesterday. She filed a written motion to dismiss again after the
judge is going to lose his mind. Monday,
she's probably going to get sanctioned.
Yeah, no, she's going to get sanctioned, and if there's like one more tweet at when right now they're still like dealing with the jury situation and they're they had to bring the jury in secret. That only happens in extremely rare occasions. So now that the jury is going to be secret and they have to go through a secret tunnel and they're like surrounded by armed guards, now you have in federal court a joke of a lawyer who is so dumb and ignorant. She just keeps literally asking the same question to the point where the judge had to go, do you even know how law works? Come on.
Oh, I got a good one. She objected. I can't believe this actually happened. She objected to the prosecutor was asking questions. She objected to one of their questions, but the reason was I was going to ask that question. I started laughing. I'm like, oh my God. You can't object because somebody asked a question that you were going to ask. So
but it's funny because it's a perfect example of the extent of Trump even understanding the law. His whole existence has been in civil court, where if you just annoy enough people and drag it out, you end up winning by default. It is not going to happen that way in criminal court. He is going to be held in contempt. His lawyers are going to get sanctioned to the point where they're basically held in contempt.
And
he's going to go
the jury's going to hate
prison.
They did not win over the jury in the least.
You can't defame
the jury's ass.
You can't defame the victim during the trial.
Right. He has people by proxy on his account defaming E. Jean Carroll during the freaking trial. What is wrong? Like, you don't. That's what I'm saying. He's going to be
I would
broke.
be surprised if by the end of this week, him or Haba are not in a holding cell.
Every message they make, every time they do something stupid, every time Alina Haba just proves that she is not a lawyer, that total is because they're already found liable. They're trying to
that's it. It's over.
That's
this
already
is a damages thing.
Right. And every time you make an ass of yourself, and every time you attack the judge and you attack the jury, not the jury, I guess, but every time you attack the person that you're being held liable of defaming, that amount's going up, man.
Well,
it's not going down.
There was a point where I forget if it was the judge or the prosecutor asked, when was the last time Donald Trump defamed you? Haba objects, and the judge is like, why? And she said something to the effect of like, well, it's not relevant. And he's like, well, no, it is literally what this is about. So she could answer that. So E. Jean Carroll goes, literally 5 seconds ago, he's tweeting about me right now. And that's how they found out. The judge was like, what?
Yep. And he hasn't
You're going
stopped.
to prison.
He has not stopped. All he had to do is just never talk about her again. That is all he had to do. Never say her name again. Just get the trial over with and move on. But no, you have to make it worse. And now you got people like, what's her face? Elise Stefanik, who we're going to talk about tomorrow, taking Donald Trump's side, a liable rapist. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure she's going to be vice president. So, but like I said, we're going to.
Well, I read something that they're looking to censure her over something like the Republicans
calling
might
the
be
Jan
revolting.
6 on television, calling the Jan 6 insurrectionists hostages and political prisoners.
That's right. So, like, she might not be in a good
patriot.
I mean, she could do whatever she wants because Trump owns the party, but she might not be as attractive to, let's say, somewhat sane Republicans. I don't know.
That's what I'm understanding. Like, how do women, any woman, how do they support this?
They just
the
believe it's not true.
Liable for rape. He's had
believe
so many accusations of sexual assault. He's been on Jeffrey Epstein's island. He's been involved with modeling companies that used to bring people in from over in Russia in that area. I mean, the evidence is all there, and these people are in denial. Like,
you know who doesn't have any of those connections? Joe Biden. You know who did none of the crimes Donald Trump is being found to have done? Drag queens. But yet they hate them and they love him because they're told to by their dear leader. That's it. It's as far as it goes.
But it's that bad. I mean, but like, I don't understand these are things that I don't understand. Like, blacks for Trump, I don't understand that. That boggles me.
Anyone
and that will
Trump.
boggle me. Latinos for Trump, y'all are crazy. I'm sorry. That one blows me away too. And then any female that would support a party that wants to take away rights to your own body. You know what I mean? It blows me away. But this is the world we live in. This is not dystopia, or this is reality. I mean, this is our reality that we live in. This is not a Netflix special. This is American politics that we're talking about. So let me play more of I know I used some of the speech in the intro, but let me play more of Trump's speech in New Hampshire.
You should see the whole speech.
It's good.
It's something
I'm getting better at video editing. Thank you again, Meidas Touch, for the footage.
But we're also going to place strong protections to stop banks and regulators from trying to debank you from your political beliefs, what they do. They want to debank you, and we're going to debank. Think of this. They want to take away your rights. They want to take away your country. The things you're doing, all electric cars, give me a break. If you want an electric car, good, but they don't go farther. And I think cognitively, I'm better than I was 20 years ago. I don't know why. I said, doctor, Doc Ronnie, right? Ronnie, do you know Ronnie? Ronnie Jackson? I said, should I take a cognitive test? Because for a while, they were saying, this guy is so brilliant, he wants to take over the world. And that wasn't working. This guy is like unbelievable, the job he's doing. We have to stop him. He's a genius. That wasn't working. Then they said, this is one of the dumbest human beings ever. And that wasn't working, but I didn't like that one as much. I mean, that was bad. Trust Trump. But some people would say, I trust Trump in terms of competence, but I don't want him to run away with my damn stuff. But I used to drive a Rolls Royce, and now I drive in an Army tank. But the Army tank costs more money than the Rolls Royce. So I said, well, is that a hard test? It can be hard. I said, look, I got to take it because I got to shut it up. And I took it, and I aced it.
What the hell is he talking about?
I don't know. I used to drive Rolls Royce. No,
you drive an Army tank. First of all, the president,
and he had to brag that it's more expensive now. I like how he points that out.
Yeah.
It's more expensive though than the Rolls Royce. Don't worry about that. Because people gives a fuck. Like, who cares about? He always has to flaunt how rich he is, how powerful he is at all times. I mean, this guy's brain is mush, complete and utter mush.
He's a small, baby, coward, fearful little shit, and I don't understand how people worship him.
Right, and if you have to address Hillary Clinton said it best, like a person that can be baited with a tweet shouldn't have access to nuclear weapons. Like, this is, I don't know if that's freedom or not. But
I am not someone who is like,
he is baited by everything.
Would she have been a better president than Trump? Yes.
Yes.
Would we be where we are now? Would millions of people have not died from COVID? Yes.
Yes.
I'm not that, but I don't have a Hillary shirt. I don't have a Hillary hat. I don't have a Joe Biden hat. I don't have a Joe Biden bumper sticker or a flag in my yard, because I just vote for the people that I think I should vote for at the time of the election. And my shit, I'm not a freaking Joe Biden obsessor. I don't think he's the greatest. He's done a lot of good things. He's doing some
I think
shitty
he's
things.
too old, but
he's not a fascist. Yes, he has done some shitty stuff. Every president does shitty things.
I don't agree with what he's doing.
Pretty straightforward. Fascism or not fascism. If you cannot get that through your head, you do not deserve the freedom you will lose under a Trump presidency.
And I like to point out that the reason a lot of people are like, we hate the government. And I get that, because the government really hasn't done shit for the American people over the years. It really has.
Better people into it.
But that's because all these capitalist sponsored and corporate sponsored politicians are against things like the government helping the people. They think the people should, pull up your bootstraps, blah, 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 blah. If you work hard, you can make it, blah, whatever.
Go down.
So they're totally against socialism. So anything like any kind of socialistic plan, like helping people with food or universal income, those things would never materialize, because Republicans would continue to vote against it. That's why people hate the government. But you got to remember who's been in office all over the years. You know what I mean? At least with Obama, things were they were getting back on track after Bush, because Bush was a nightmare, Bush Jr. And then we had, instead of Hillary, we woke up and they're like, oh my God, are you serious? This idiot is going to be our president for 4 years. Now look in the position that we're in. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous. Political violence, congressmen getting death threats, you name it. And it's almost like they're trying to normalize this behavior, but we can't let it happen.
The founders were very smart in telling you what they believed. See, what people don't understand is they like to look at the Constitution and say what the founders meant when interpreting it. The founders didn't want that. The founders wrote the Constitution and left it as a living document to be able to modify and interpret
yes.
based on what's going on in the world and what makes sense. Okay, great. But that doesn't mean you can't understand what the founders meant. They wrote a lot about it. So they said a government for the people, by the people. The reason they did not want to live in a monarchy, because a monarchy and a dictatorship are functionally identical, because once you have a dictator and then that dictator has a kid and that kid just gains power,
Exactly.
that's
It's
a
the same
monarchy. End of story. There is no difference. That's what they are. Okay. A dictator is who you allow to be in charge of the country for whatever reason. They take it over and the people allow it. A monarchy is when you just keep letting them keep doing that generation after generation. So government by the people and for the people doesn't mean you put capitalists and business owners and scumbags to represent you. You're supposed to have people like a Katie Porter represent you.
Thank you.
People like even a Pete Buttigieg, who has earned his way up, but that is a guy that just got a job and worked his way up. You need people to represent people. You need Black people. You need Asian people. You need LGBTQ people. It's for the people, by the people.
Right.
Because if it's not by the people, it's not going to be for the people.
That's
and
an all. We the people is all an all-inclusive statement. Okay, it's not we the white people. It's not
we the white Christian
rich,
rich
wealthy,
people.
Privileged. It's we the people. It's everybody. Goddamn it! I'm tired of people. You know what I mean? All right. So anyway, we got to move on because we're almost out of time. This is gonna be a fun one. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think we've really talked about her much lately, but she is under new scrutiny. I swear she almost admitted it on Twitter that
Off her failed book tour.
Yeah, that was great. Those reviews we read were brutal. She is obsessed with Hunter Biden's genitals, with his crotch.
Loves them.
Showing pictures. So we're gonna talk about that for a second. And she said some absolutely horrifying things about immigrants.
Yeah, she's a piece of garbage.
Hearing as well, which we also have a video of that. But let me first play this where she, once again, I love Jamie Raskin's comeback on this.
Yeah, listen to Jamie real carefully.
I ask unanimous consent to enter information for the record.
What's the information?
Oh, my God.
State the information.
Thank you.
I reserve the right to object. The minority has not provided a copy of the material for the record. In the past, she's displayed pornography. Is pornography allowed to be, or pornographic photos allowed to be displayed in this committee room, Mr. Chairman?
It's not pornography.
Okay, well, you're the expert. How do you?
I'm not an expert, Mr. Raskin.
Seems like it.
Mr. Chairman, I object to the unanimous.
Mr. Chairman,
and it's marked
Mr.
out.
Chairman, point of parliamentary
Showing
point of parliamentary inquiry, Mr.
proof
Chairman.
of Mann
Okay.
Act violations. Democrats should not be offended by pictures
Mr.
that
Chairman,
black out.
Have I been
things.
recognized?
They should be
Objection. I
offended
have a
by
point of
actual
parliamentary
human
inquiry.
Donald Trump more than likely has almost absolutely transported some sort of sex worker across state lines. Well, she has no self-awareness whatsoever.
How much more can people talk about the Hunter Biden thing? That's in a committee to talk about the investigation of Joe Biden, and they're like, Hunter Biden's pics, yes, they're blacked out. It's him having sex, but they're blacked out. What does it have to do with even what's going on?
They've been dubbed, I think, the least effective Congress in U.S. history now.
Yeah, something like that.
Is that it too?
Well,
I think that's right.
Yeah,
and this is what we're doing. This is still a year later, over a year later now. This is, I guess, is
not
around
one
a year.
bill to help Americans, not one bill to
None.
lower food costs. They've
None.
actually voted against bills for border security. They voted against bills for infrastructure and jobs in especially districts like
they've held
Lawrence
the economy hostage. They've tried to shut the government down, 3 times now?
Yep.
And we're going to have to do it again here
Wait,
in March?
Now the reports are that MAGA Mike Johnson has worked out a deal with the Democrats, and people like Marjorie are more interested in Hunter Biden's genitals, and they're so angry that now she's calling everyone to vote Mike Johnson out because he's going to make a deal to keep the government running. What is happening? And I'll tell you what's happening, because they're covering for Donald Trump. And if what people aren't showing you on TV is the second poster that she put up, and it's very important. This is an actual real pic from the hearing. And in it, she talks about, Mr. Speaker, I enter into evidence these Antifa propaganders. And she was very worried about the bad image that this might have on Donald Trump and the former First Lady. And she wants everyone to know that this is not considered pornography. So they're really spending too much time defending Donald Trump
She
and not
actually
getting to the
showed
business.
that? That's an actual
No, dude, I made that up.
I wasn't ready for that one. I'm like, hold up a second.
That's why I didn't show you that one yet. No, I mean,
that confused the hell out of me. I'm like, hold
look,
up.
in all seriousness, she's an idiot. She is a bad faith actor in a do-nothing Congress in a party that does not respect women and people or its constituents or the right to vote. And this is what they worry about, Hunter Biden's penis.
Yep. And I'm sick and tired of their attacks on the border, blaming it on Biden, because like we've shown before, they have voted against funding the Border Patrol. They keep wanting to push forward HR 2, and I've read part of it, and it's barbaric.
And guess who voted against?
Utterly horrible.
Guess who? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, it's terrible. And then they're like, well, that's why Democrats voted against it. No shit, man, because we care about people. You know what I mean? If it was up to Donald Trump, we'd have an alligator pit moat and shoot people in the legs if they're trying to cross the border.
If it was up to people like the governor of Texas, who, as of this week, said if it wasn't for laws, he would just blatantly shoot anyone near the border.
Yeah, the only reason he's not doing it is because Biden would charge him with murder. Yeah, no kidding. Because when you kill somebody, that's called murder.
Yeah.
Duh. Just because they're from another country. But I hate it when they call it an invasion. It's not an invasion. These people aren't armed. Stop talking about them fentanyl trafficking, because
it's white
90% of the fentanyl is brought over by legal U.S. citizens, not by immigrants trying to come across the border. And I think people seem to have forgotten what it says on the Statue of freaking Liberty. This is the country you go to try and have a better life. Okay?
That's how this works.
Right. That's the whole point of the American experiment. But now we have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and all these other Republicans just want to lock it down. Now they want to make it about Christian white people, and that's it. So let me play this video I put together of Marjorie Taylor Greene. And this is just, I'm a blaster.
She sucks.
We have Americans dying every single day. And all I hear from Democrats every time we talk about the border is they're worried about migrant rights. They claim they're concerned about children and women. And then they claim, in spite of all the evidence, in spite of the fact that over 10 million illegal aliens have crossed our border, in spite of the fact 1.9 million people, illegal aliens, are in our country, gotaways. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they are. And then they talked about that we have a population growth problem in the United States. They were talking about the real issue of it being the lowest population growth and why this is a problem. Well, I think we can all say that if maybe, perhaps, 63 million people weren't murdered in the womb, we wouldn't have a population growth problem. The Biden administration is guilty of the largest human trafficking operation in history. Look forward to the next administration where we're going to have the largest deportation system that's ever been witnessed.
You can't threaten mass deportation in a committee hearing.
No. All right, we're going to go over on time, and I apologize, Mike, but I got to cover a couple of these points. First of all, how the hell do you know the exact number of people that you don't know who they are and you don't know where they are, but you know there's exactly 1.9 million of them? Okay, let's leave that one alone. She's complaining that Democrats care about people's rights, human rights. She's complaining that Democrats care about children and women's rights. 10 million people have come across the border. What period of time? Like last
also,
week?
where are those people?
Right. Where are those people? Exactly. Where are you getting these numbers from? If they're coming across illegally and sneaking in, they're not like checking in when they come across the border. I'm here illegally. Here you go. Just to keep a tally. It's so stupid. And then the last one I want to touch base on, whatever this population, first of all, we're overpopulated. So having a decrease in population is actually a good thing. Okay, it took this is a little science here, or facts or whatever. It took from the year beginning of human history until the year 1807 for the human population on Earth to hit 1 billion. It only took 215 years to go from 1 billion to 8 billion. That's called exponential population growth. We
And
do
our
not
food
have a
has gone
population
down.
problem. Right, we're running out of room, and the planet can only sufficiently sustain or efficiently sustain about what 4 to 5 billion. So we're overpopulated. So stop complaining about the population decline. It's
Well,
actually a good thing. We need
see
less.
what they're worried about. What the subtext is they're upset of the potential loss of white life, because what they really are worried about is white representation. That's
And then
what
how does she make an immigration problem about abortion? Okay, well, if we wouldn't have aborted all those babies, those 36 million babies, when were 36 million babies aborted? Since the
63
beginning of
million.
abortions, like
And then
the last. Where is she? What is her frame of reference? None of
There
the
isn't.
shit she
It's
says
made
is
up.
accurate.
And also,
It's
there
all
have been.
bullshit.
I wish I wrote it down because it was something that annoyed me so bad, but I didn't want to keep note of it and think about it. But I forgot what Republican, and maybe there was more than one recently, that talked about fixing the job people that won't like have enough staff and you don't have enough workers is for people to have more babies. Women are not little worker creators, and people are not born to be a worker. We force people into a system of which we have to work until we die to support the billionaires.
And I
So
have
there's
to
not
point
like
out-
none of these crises that she's talking about or the right is talking about are real existential or moral crises. They're problems
they're
of
making it all up.
capitalism not supporting itself.
This is what's called propaganda. It's lies, lies, lies. It doesn't matter if it's true or not, as long as it gets put on TV and amplified.
scares someone.
And they have networks dedicated to amplifying this bullshit. The last thing I want to point out, actually, no, before I point that out, Anna Paulina Luna, I think it was. And if I'll look this up and I'll clarify it on tomorrow's show. If I'm mistaken, I apologize. Gets into an argument with somebody else, and I don't remember who the other person was, because they were pointing out under Trump that they were taking children away from their parents. And this woman had the nerve to say, well, you don't know if they're actually their parents. What? Do you think these people are just grabbing random children and bringing? He's like, yeah, we do. She said, no, you don't. You don't know if they're the parents. So I'm going to try and find that clip. And if I can find it, I'll play it tomorrow.
The
Because
dehumanization, dehumanization is what the goal is.
The last part of this whole clip that I played is the most important. She says, I can't look forward to the next administration where we're going to have the largest mass deportation in American history. That's what she said. That means, one, who's going to pay for all of this is what I want to know. Because they're talking about rounding up millions of people. They're going to put these people in camp for processing. Do you guys want tanks in the streets? Is this what you want? You want people that don't look like you or don't pray to the same fucking God as you? You want these people to live like treat them less than human? Why? Because you were born here and they weren't? I don't think people the lack of empathy in this country pisses me off the most. It is the cold-heartedness of this whole MAGA movement that drives me absolutely insane. The fact that these fake fucking Christians, and I'm sorry I'm getting mad, so I'm going to start cursing. These fake Christians like Marjorie Taylor Greene who posts on Twitter, who posts a picture of themselves reading the Bible. Give me a break. These fake-ass Christians, these Christian nationalists, and I'm not going to knock Christianity because I happen to think Christianity overall is a beautiful thing and there's a lot of beautiful people involved in it. But at the same time, Christian nationalists are people that you need to live by the Bible. I'm going to do whatever I want. And if you don't do exactly what I want and how I like it, I'm going to treat you like you're a piece of dog shit. I'm going to treat you like you're on the heel of my boot. You know what I'm saying? And this can't possibly be the future for America. I refuse to let it happen. I'm not like I have any power to do anything except for vote. But I hope people start to realize the same thing. That's the only power we have right now is to vote these people out, because Donald Trump, we're going to show on Tuesday, we're going to talk about with Fred, the political violence and what it's going to look like if Donald Trump, we have a clip from 11 films, it's called. You can look it up on YouTube. They do a clip of what it would be. I guarantee this would be the closest video picture. I have the video picture. What am I trying to say? The closest imagery you're possibly going to see to what a dictatorship in America would be like. and it's terrifying. So before we go, Mike, do you have any final words? Because I think I got everything out of my system.
For once, I got nothing to say. See you tomorrow, and can't wait for Tuesday.
Yeah, 2 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be back on. I've got a lot more stuff to talk about, man. There's so much going on. When we're back doing 3 shows a week. Well, give or take. And then, like I said, Tuesday again, we'll be on with Fred Wellman from Meidas Touch Network, which is going to be awesome. I love talking to that guy. We did an interview with him on a former show that we were on. So I'm looking forward to talking to him again. Please like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed all the material. I know we're, the new guys on the block, but we do put a lot of effort in all of our shows, and we hope that shows on your end as well. So thank you for all your support so far. We're just getting warmed up. And like Mike said, we will talk to you tomorrow.